During the early decades of Air Force history, there was a near constant awareness of the challenges posed by the nuclear age. The sheer destructive power of nuclear weapons resulted in an uneasy peace based on a doctrine of mutually assured destruction. The Air Force was initially the world's sole nuclear power after dropping the little man on Hiroshima, but the Soviets' test of an atomic weapon in 1949 and the war in Korea heightened tension around the world. The arms race between the US and the Soviet Union during the 1950s had begun. On November 26, 1956, Secretary of Defense Charles Wilson assigned responsibility for developing intercontinental ballistic missiles to the Air Force. The service responded by activating its first ICBM wing within a year. The first ICBM was known as the Atlas. It was able to strike a targeted area up to 500 miles away. The US wanted the capability to provide a quick action response and a reliable nuclear deterrent. Through a new concept that combined space technology with nuclear capability, the first ICBM was born. These missiles were fueled by mixing liquid fuel with oxidizer. ICBMs that require liquid fuel to launch are known as hypergolic missiles. Due to the delay of adding liquid fuel, the ICBMs took at least 30 minutes to prep for a launch. Other hypergolic missiles that were created after the Atlas included the Thor, the Jupiter, the Titan I, and the Titan II. As the missile systems improved, the Air Force searched for a way to launch missiles even faster. An Air Force missile designer, Colonel Edward Hall, pushed for a new concept involving solid propellant. He designed solid fuel in the late 50s, which was groundbreaking technology because it allowed for instant combustion. This eliminated the time needed to add fuel before the launch. Not only was solid fuel more responsive, but it was also more accurate, enabled the missiles to travel further distance, and it was much safer than the explosive process of mixing liquid fuel and oxidizer. By 1958, the Air Force had its first solid fuel ICBM, known as Weapon System Q. Colonel Hall changed the ICBM's name to Minuteman as a symbolic reminder of the country's military past and to reflect the quick response time of the missile system. Its ability to launch within minutes separated the Minuteman I missile from all previous ICBMs and paved the way for the future. The Minuteman was designed to be an efficient, reliable weapon system. It was lighter and cheaper to manufacture than other systems. Additionally, the new system could be mass-produced, be operated and maintained by small crews, and automatically monitored for condition and combat readiness. By 1965, the Air Force had an operational force of 800 Minuteman missiles located across 6 stateside bases. The improvements in manufacturing didn't end there. In fact, Commander of Air Force Systems Command General Bernard Schriever had come up with a more efficient way of manufacturing high-quality missiles through the idea of parallel development. He issued contracts to multiple companies for each major missile to speed up the innovation process. His idea of parallel development ensured multiple weapon systems were under research, development, and production at the same time. General Schriever is credited as the architect of the Air Force's ballistic missile and military space program.
Science is dynamic, and real progress must be constantly pursued.
Between 1969 and 1975, the Minuteman I system was replaced with modernized Minuteman II missiles. The Minuteman II had improved propellant, allowing for even longer range and survivability of the system. During the replacement of the Minuteman with Minuteman IIs, the Air Force contracted Boeing for research and development of the next phase of the weapon system, Minuteman III. Until the Minuteman III, all previous ICBMs had one warhead that could only strike a single target, plus the systems were hard to retarget. Minuteman III had the ability to carry up to 3 warheads, and it had rapid retargeting capability, making it easy to switch targets. This gave planners a lot of flexibility and saved time. Minuteman III had a better guidance system than its predecessors, known as the Multiple Independent Delivery System. This made it more accurate. Because of the ability to carry 3 warheads, it had more than twice the blast radius, and could strike targets up to 8,000 miles away. By 1977, 550 Minuteman IIIs were launch-ready, and the number of operational Minuteman IIs were reduced to 450. In the late 70s, the Air Force requested a more accurate and larger ICBM. By 1985, the Air Force developed an ICBM that carried 10 warheads known as the Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper, or PK, was very responsive and accurate, but was a high-maintenance ICBM. It was later deactivated in 2005, leaving the Minuteman III as the US's premier ICBM. Through the state-of-the-art improvements, the Minuteman system continues to evolve to meet new challenges and assume new missions. Modernization programs have resulted in new versions of the missile, expanded targeting options, improved accuracy, and survivability. Today's safe, reliable, and lethal Minuteman weapon system is the product of almost 60 years of continuous enhancement. Currently, Air Force Global Strike Command oversees the nation's 400 combat-ready ICBMs, which are the top cover for conventional forces around the world. They stand ready to deploy 24/7, 365.